I drank a beer. I drank another beer. 3 beers.
Welcome back into the Beers and Balls Show. My name is Eddie, and joined alongside Drew. Drew, how the hell are you today?
Doing pretty good, Eddie. How about yourself?
You know, it's a Wednesday. It's the start of basically the new NFL week. You know, we get injury reports out and start looking forward to the matchups. And I think we got us a game coming up on Sunday. A little one-on-one with the great one.
Do you think we got a good one coming up?
I think it's gonna be a good game. I do. It's Packers and the Panthers. But before we start, I want to just let everybody know to please like, subscribe, and comment down below. And also, go ahead and follow our Instagram at The Beer and Ball Show. It's the easiest way to get in contact with us, so we can start setting up for the good viewers of you all to come on the show, talk to us about ball. If you drink beer, we'll drink some beer, and have a dandy time. So make sure you go do those things. And then here's what we're going to talk about today, Drew. We're going to talk about the Panthers and the Packers. And we're going to kind of preview this entire game from kind of all the angles, start to finish. Now, but before we do that, let's do something fun. Do you believe in sports superstitions?
No.
Really? You have no superstitions?
No.
You don't? Do you believe in superstitions at all?
No, not really.
Why is that? Why not?
Well,
you got like a lucky pair of socks, or the hat you always wear, or a certain jersey.
No. I know when the Panthers wear their black and silver uniforms in the Super Bowl, we lose. But other than that, I mean, I don't really have any sports superstitions. I feel like eventually they all get broken.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not a big superstitious person. So, you?
Yeah, I am. I'm deeply into superstition. Just because I like to think that I play a part in them winning or losing. I play a critical part in the Packers winning and losing.
You're like the team. You're like the team witch, just like right. Back here brewing up spells.
That's right. I'm whipping up Jordan Love spells, and it worked on Sunday. Like I have my white hat that I wear on when they're playing away. I wear my white hat, white jersey. I like to kind of match the jersey. Whatever they're on, unless they're wearing alternate jerseys. I'll never buy an alternate jersey to wear it once, ever. You only get to wear it once a whole year if they wear those uniforms. And then, wear the same shorts. I mean, always clean. Let's not get it twisted. It's clean. But change up different socks for home and away. It helps feel a little bit more connected to the team.
Do you keep track of your record?
No. I get too drunk to do that.
You should. You should though.
Yeah.
You're like, what's the record with the lucky socks, or whatever you be doing before the game?
Yeah, I mean, I try, because it just helps feel connected, helps make that fandom for me kind of go up a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I mean, I have so many jerseys that I can't wear them all, but I only wear Jordan Love. That's the thing. Maybe that's my superstition is that I only wear Jordan Love. I won't wear anybody else. I'll follow quarterback's number is the most important part of the team, so that's what I'm wearing.
It's funny, actually, now that I do remember it, I have a blue Carolina Panthers Peppers jersey, like a stitched one. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I used to only wear it very rare, and every game it seemed like I wore that we won. I think I was 3 or 4-0 in it. Yeah. And then I wore it, I think, the start of Bryce's second year, and that's when we got our ass kicked by the Falcons.
Oh, so you're super.
Ever since then, it's been 2-15.
Well, I mean, it's a question. Is it the question if your superstition doesn't come true, does that make it a bad superstition, or is it just it's impossible for a superstition to be 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just once it fails, it's it's done to me.
You gotta switch it up.
That's kind of it ruins it, man. It just ruins it. I can't be I'm 10-3 with my lucky socks. It's nah, it's not that lucky if you lost 3 times.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're just having a good season.
Well, that was fun, because I always think about that if other people have superstitions that they do what they are. But now let's move into the first part of our show, which is drinking beer.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, drinking whiskey for me.
Hey, look at him. Back to back. Whiskey nights. Whiskey shows.
Yeah, man. As the older I get, man, the more I'm enjoying the hard liqueur.
Yeah, I mean, I really did well, let's drink first, and I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with me and hard liquor now is that I overdid it in Korea. When I was in Korea, I went on like a 7th month, like straight only.
Would you drink a sake?
No, over in Korea they had soju.
What's that?
It's like it's clear, most time flavorless. Like I have 3 different levels. Like it's unregulated on how much alcohol is in it, like the percentage. Like it's messed up pretty quick.
Oh, it's kind of like their moonshine.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds. That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, but I was deep into like the Jack and then some bourbon and Crown. Mixing up different stuff there. And I'm just on beer. Beer is just where the happy green lane.
I've been on an old fashioned kick lately, man. I really
there you
like
go.
old fashions.
Okay.
But it seems like every time I make one at home, it just doesn't taste as good as when I go to the bar.
Well, because probably they put more liquor in it than you do.
No, I think I put too much. Every time I make it, it's like, damn, this just tastes like alcohol. But when you go to the bar, it's like, this is nice and balanced. You get those orange citrus and bourbon, whatever the fuck they put in it. Cherries and shit. It's delicious.
That's good. Well, you'll perfect it at some point, and then I'll try it when you perfect it.
Oh yeah, you'll try it.
Yeah, I'll give it a go. I can have like a whiskey drink here and there, or anything there. It's just not something I yearn for. Like personally.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at kind of what the injury report was looking like. I know for the Packers, it's pretty much the same as last week. Wide receiver Dontavian Wicks didn't practice today. Neither did Lucas Van Ness. Outside of those 2 guys, everybody else on the 53-man roster is playing. Why don't you tell us what the big headline news in the Panthers camp is?
Bryce Young, he practiced. He was listed as full practice. I think he didn't really practice with the team, but he ran with the team. He did walkthrough or whatever else they do, but I don't think he followed up in practice. But he was listed as full practice, so it's looking like he's going to play. He was practicing last week, so I think he'll be fine. Chandler Zavala was full practice. Everybody's still unspecified with the game status, so. But I'm 95% sure Bryce Young is going to play because there's no way they can put Andy Dalton back out there.
Yeah, for sure.
And
we'll get those game statuses on Friday.
Yeah, and it's Jimmy Horn. He's got a little thing going on. He was full practice. Damian Lewis full practice. Derek Brown full practice. So, I'm trying to think. No, Andy Dalton did not practice. He had a thumb injury apparently in that game, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Him and Dave Canales. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. Case Mays did not practice. Ooh, that's a big one. He did not practice. Taylor Moton did not practice either.
Who is that Case Mays? What position
He's our center.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. He backed up Austin Corbett, and Austin Corbett was playing bad, and then he got hurt, so Cade Mays came in. He's been playing a lot better, so he took his job.
Oh, no.
So they moved Corbett to guard. But if he can't play, then Corbett's going to have to play center. And I know he's going to have one bad snap that's going to go somewhere other than the quarterback's hands. So that's not good. And Princey Unanamelin didn't practice. Trevin Wallen didn't practice. I mean, how much weight do you put on like a do not practice on a Wednesday?
Not a lot. Especially if it said like vet rest, but not a lot on a Wednesday. Just because some of these guys have their plans for the week on how they are to keep their body, especially like halfway through the season that we are now at this point. And you're getting into November football where every game starts meaning more as you get through it. You start figuring out who you are as a team. So you want to make sure you always have your guys that can play as healthy as possible. So it's not rare to see players that end up playing Sunday not practicing Wednesday, because Wednesday's usually that walkthrough. Thursdays are usually the padded practices, so that's when you want to kind of be on more of the alert on who didn't practice. And then Fridays, you're going to kind of know who's going to play or not based on how much they did Friday. But for the Packers, Packers are healthy. This is like one of the first times in a very long time that a Packers opponent has a smaller injury report than the Packers do. It was like it was wild when I first saw it.
Now we got a young team, so
Yeah, and then now, how much is your confidence level either rise or fall with having Bryce Young potentially playing Sunday?
It definitely rises because I know if they can just stick to the game plan of giving the ball to Rico 25 to 30 times, then he just needs to complete passes and not throw interceptions. And I think we can stay in this game. we might not win it, but we'll be competitive till the end of it, and that's really what we need. So yeah, it's a big deciding factor. I think he can push us over the hump, like unlike Andy Dalton probably could. I think if Andy Dalton was in there, we ran it with Rico, and Andy Dalton needs to throw a few passes and complete some passes. I think he can do that, but I'm definitely more confident with Bryce back there.
As you should. I mean, that's your franchise guy. I mean, you always want that guy to play, no matter if he's playing, good or bad. That he drafted him 1 overall. Like, he better be playing.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of Andy, man, I heard today that Canales said that he hurt his thumb in that first quarter of that Bills game.
Is it on his throwing hand, or do we?
Yeah, his right thumb, his playing thumb, and he played the rest of the game. So that further shows me like how bad like the either Hendon Hooker is, the coaching, the fact that we weren't running the ball extra now that Andy Dalton's even got a hurt throwing hand and we put in Hendon Hooker, like that just makes me even more worried. Like, you shouldn't even say anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as the Minnesota Vikings with Carson Wentz throwing him out there with like a dislocated shoulder and a torn labrum,
Like, do coaches really not believe in the backup quarterback that much?
It's really hard
Yeah.
really hard to have one that you have a lot of confidence in, because there's only so much practice time each week, and there's only so many reps you can give a backup that your game plan drastically changes. Unless you have one of the premier backups in the league. Now let's take a look at kind of the Packers offense versus the Panthers defense. Mostly like, can Jordan Love stay hot versus Panthers defense, and can the Panthers defense stop wide runs, jet sweeps? Let's start with you on how do you think the defense is going to approach the level of play that Jordan Love is playing with right now?
Yeah, we did talk about this last week. Our defense, our corners and our secondary is really strong. Our interior defensive line is really strong. Where we lack is the linebacker position in the interior and the outside. So, does Jordan Love does he play better against man or zone?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well,
that's the thing. Like, he does. Like, he's shown to be efficient against both man and zone. You don't want to run man against this team, especially with Golden and Watson both out there, because we will torch you just by speed on itself. And then if it's zone, guys like Romeo Dobbs are going to just slice you up with just paper cuts across the middle of the field. On post routes, just really working these zones, because it's really hard these days if you don't have a top-tier defensive coach with the talent to really disguise a lot of formations.
Yeah, so, the thing with me is, our zone, especially in the interior, like in the linebackers, like I said, are really lacking in coverage. And especially they all have a really top 5 tight end and Tucker Kraft, I'm really worried about that. So I would really like to see him blitz a lot, like I said, up the middle, try to put some pressure on them, let our corners work in man coverage and let them just try to lock them up. Because if we just sit in zone and do a 4-man rush, they're not going to get home, and Jordan Love's going to pick us apart. So,
yeah,
and like I said, our pass rush hasn't been there all year. Princely Umani-Melon, our other pass rusher, probably best pass rusher, is looking like, he's a little hurt, so he's probably not going to be 100% if he plays. So I'm hoping they blitz. I trust our corners and JC to Mike Jack to get solid man coverage. Tucker Kraft, I'm really worried about. I don't know if, Ransom or Morig can run with him in man coverage, but we're gonna have to do something, because if we just sit back in zone, I think you're gonna pick us apart.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I don't know if there's a defensive back or safety or linebacker, probably in the league right now that can guard Tucker Kraft like in man coverage. Because, I mean, the only guy I could think of before it was probably Fred Warner, and he's out. And I don't think there's another linebacker that can guard him, because he's as physical as he is. He's deceptively fast. I mean, he's not like a Kyle Pitts fast, but he'll get that engine up and going. I think with a defense that you have that's kind of underwhelming with the Panthers, like, they have good spots, but overall underwhelming, is if you blitz Jordan Love, you better get home, or else, because we lead the league in explosive plays, or at least top 2 or 3 in explosive plays. So 20 yards or more is considered an explosive play. So we lead the league, if not top of the league, in that category. And this Packers offense are looking for those shots. So that's why I don't think the Panthers are going to blitz a lot, because you're playing into the strength of the Packers offense when you want to blitz them, as long as the Packers offense line can, stay afloat, which they have, and they've been the preferred 5 have started the last 3 games. And so that continuity is really starting to build there. Jordan Love didn't get sacked at all last week. I think he got hit only once or twice. So they're doing a great job up front blitzing them. Now, before we flip it over to the other side and ask a reverse question, let's have a swig of whatever beverage you want. Now, here's how I think the Packers are going to be able to stop Bryce Young. And it's not even on stopping Bryce Young in the way I look at it. Ted McMillan's a big problem. He's a big problem. I think he is the catalyst to this Panthers offense moving down the field and scoring points. And it goes, and he'll be attacking our weakest part of our defense, which is our corners. He's bigger than all of them, for one. He has a huge jump ball radius, and he has the most catches for a first down out of any of the Panthers receivers, and is by like a long margin. I think he has, if the stat I read earlier today was correct, 31 of his 38 receptions resulted in a first down, and that's a problem. So I think we just got to have to key up on him and make a guy like Xavier Legette beat you. And I just don't know if Xavier Legette has it in him to take over a game and beat you play in and play out.
Yeah, he's definitely our top weapon now. Mitchell Evans, our new tight end, he's been doing really good for us. So, I'd like to see him sneak in there and get some good yardage. XL, he's okay. He's game to game. We'll kind of see how he does. I can't really put a lot of weight on him. So, yeah, that would be a good plan as far as your passing game. If you take away Tet, then you do take away a bit of our passing game. But I think the run game is what you should be most worried about. Are you worried about that at all? I mean, I know you guys have a really good rush defense. I think you have the 7th as of right now in the NFL.
So the best defense. We have one of the best run defenses in yards allowed per game.
Yeah, well, we also got one of the best
if you give him the ball,
running backs in the NFL right now.
You got to give him the ball. I'll worry about it if he's getting a large workload.
So let's say he gets 25, 30 touches.
He won't, but if he did, if he did, that means it's working. So yeah, I'm worried. if he gets 25 carries, I'm worried. Now his mark is probably anywhere between 15 and 18, if my guess is what it is. But it could be more depending on what the game plan Dave has. If a lot of teams attack the Packers with trying to take as much time of possession as they can and limit this Packers offense on the field, because the one bad part about this defense is that it's like a bend but don't break defense. Like in each of the last 3 games, there have been 2 or 3 drives that were 5, 6, 7 minutes long, 14, 15, 16 play drives that ended in 3 points. We saw it in the Steelers game, that first possession, but like 10 plays, took off 6 minutes. Saw it in the Cardinals game. We're really good in the red zone of not allowing touchdowns. But against the run, not really worried. The defense hasn't shown me anything to be worried about. But they are the Green Bay Packers, and they are notorious for giving up the run game. And I have seen it, so I believe it. That's why I think they'll be able to do fine against Rico Dowdle. Because we have two of the best linebackers in football, in Quay Walker and Edgerrin Cooper paired up. As long as those guys can fill the lanes and fly around, they'll be fine.
Are you worried about our pass game at all, other than Tet?
Jalen Coker, he has a special skill set that is tough against the Packers, because I see him a lot like a Turbin, like a Ronnie Turbin that the Cowboys have. A guy that can really do a really good job on like over routes, beat you in man coverage, going on like a post or an over route, and fit into like tight windows. So I worry about him in our nickel position. It's kind of up in the air. It's not the greatest, depending on like who they put out there. Our nickel spot is a little antsy when it comes to that, but our pass rush is so good, it's really hard for teams to get those style of plays off. And I just haven't really seen an offense that played against this team that I've had to necessarily worry about. But hey, Bryce Young had his coming out party against us, last 2 years ago. So
Actually, we were talking about superstitions earlier. Last year when Bryce Young got benched and Andy Dalton played for a few games, he got in a car accident and he ended up hurting his hand. And turns out it was his right thumb.
Uh-oh.
And guess who, just had to replace Bryce because he was out. And guess who's out now because his right thumb hurts.
Some things just add up that way.
Are the stars aligning again?
No, well, your stars cannot. Your stars that you're seeing cannot overly align the fact that Sunday is Jordan Love's birthday. So your stars aren't aligning Jordan Love's 27th birthday.
Oh, he's turning 27 on Sunday?
Yep, he's turning the age that all great Packer quarterbacks win a Super Bowl, and in Bart Starr's case, an NFL championship.
Well, when he is that Super Bowl, he's going to look at that loss to the Panthers on that regular season game.
And I'm not looking past. don't get me twisted. I'm not looking past the Panthers whatsoever because the Packers don't blow teams out. That's just not in I got to think the Matt LaFleur philosophy is that he just does not blow teams out. He'll get up by 14, 21 points, and then just completely take the pedal off the gas. And that's what this defense is for. We can get up 17 points. If we 17, 20, 27 points and not score another point and be just fine. Because Matt LaFleur just wants to run the ball. When he's up by that much, just wants to absolutely run the ball. I mean, the last time he really put it on somebody was that Dallas Cowboys playoff game where he hung 40 on them. But it was still a 15-point game at the end of it. I don't remember the exact score, but it wasn't a 40-9. You just won't see that out of a Matt LaFleur team, and I think it's just a philosophy thing more than it is a can or can't thing. Okay,
so as far as skill positions on the offense, who do you think is going to have the biggest day on the Packers?
On the Packers, I mean, it's like Russian roulette. Who knows?
Skill positions.
Yeah, I know. It's who knows. There's so many. So many.
We do have two top corners a top corner in JC, and Mike Jack's pretty good. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of Mike Jack, and I like JC. And JC has shown that he can play with top receivers. We saw it against George Pickens. He played good against George Pickens on some plays. I mean, Cowboys still got theirs, offensively, but so did you guys offensively. On the Packers, probably Christian Watson. He's a lot like Tet McMillan. They're they're comparables. I don't know what Tet ran for a 40. I don't know if he's as fast as Christian Watson is. But there's some comparisons. A guy that can he can moss you, he can run past you, he can possession catch. He's the do it all receiver, and he can run block his ass off. And that's why he gets as much targets as he does. No block, no rock, is Matt LaFleur saying. And Christian Watson, and he bulked up. He's about 225 now. So he bulked up. So that's my go-to. And I want to see him do great too, especially coming off that ACL injury. I'm hoping for him. But I wouldn't be surprised by Matthew Golden. One of these games he's going to have a breakout game. One of them, Just which one is it going to be?
Okay. What about the defensive side? Who do you think is going to have a big day?
I think Micah Parsons is going to probably have
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
And if he doesn't, if he doesn't explode, then it'll be a Rashawn Gary day, as always. I mean, when Micah has 1, Rashawn has 2.5 because of the Micah Parsons effect. I saw a tweet from somebody, and it was a screenshot of the Pittsburgh Steelers lineman and Micah Parsons, and it was 3 linemen and I think a tight end. I don't know if there's a tight end there or not, but I know there's at least 3 linemen. And the caption read, "This looks like the minions that they send after John Wick." So I was yep. I mean, that's it. That's the type of control that he requires. And I just don't know if the Panthers dual line have even 2 guys that could double team him the whole game and keep him from getting to Bryce Young. But Bryce Young can throw it out quick, He can sling it. He can get the quick slants and in routes are there all game long. They're there all game long against this Packers defense. But as a coach and as a play caller, do you have the patience to call that all game long, and have to have a couple 3-and-outs and have to be patient all game long, knowing that you're going up against a very explosive offense on the other side? What about you? Who's going to be your star player on offense for the Panthers?
Man, it's got to be Rico.
You're calling
Rico.
The man is demanding Rico.
Yeah, this is another Rico breakout game. This is give a Rico 25 carries, or he might request a trade because this is ridiculous.
Right, they
would.
Trade deadline's Tuesday, so
yeah, so
Tuesday 4:00 Eastern. So you better get it done.
Yeah, so that's who I see going off. I don't think we can beat you with our passing game straight up. If we do, I'm sure Tet will have a solid day, but no, Rico's going to have to be the guy to put the team on his back like he has been doing all year and win this game for us.
Like
on the offensive side.
It wouldn't surprise me if Tet had like 4 or 5 catches for like $115 and a touchdown. Like that seems reasonable to me. And if that's it, and your other receivers don't produce as well, I just really don't see there's as a way that the Panthers can keep up with this offense.
Yeah, Tet will get most of the targets when we throw.
Which he should. I mean, so he's a number 10 pick. He should be. Your offense should be built around him and Bryce. Now, when we get on our show on Sunday, our post-game show, and Rico gets 7, 8, or 9 carries, what's going to be the temperature?
I mean, if Rico gets 7, 8 carries and we lose, and we weren't down by 30 points at the end of the first quarter, I don't know. I mean, I think that to me it just shows the coaching problem. I think Dave is a good play caller. I think he can draw up good plays and call good plays. I just think maybe he doesn't have that head coach presence, like to really get a locker room behind him and say, we're doing this. I don't care what you guys, I don't care if Chuba's been here longer. Because like I said, I think he's got a, seniority problem. Like, oh, he's been here longer and he's got the bigger contract, so he needs to play, even though this guy's playing 3 times as better right now. I think a good NFL coach like a Bill Belichick would be like, no, this guy's playing because he has control of the locker room because everybody, respects him as the head coach. I'm not saying people don't respect him, but, he doesn't have that head coach presence to me. He's a great offensive mind. He's a great play caller, but as of right now, he's not a good head coach.
So you think that's why he worked so well in Tampa?
Yeah, and I think that's, he calls the offensive plays here in Carolina, and I think, that's, like I said before, I think that's kind of getting in his head coaching duties, in the way of his head coaching duties, because he's too busy calling plays and worried about the offense, So I think, both those things play into it. And, maybe he is a younger guy, so maybe he just doesn't have that, experience and presence to really command a locker room yet in the NFL. But, as of right now, he's a really good play caller and coordinator, but, not a good coach.
Realistically, how healthy do you think Bryce Young is with that ankle?
I mean, it's only been like a week and a half, so I think he's probably 75% by game day. I think he'll be 85. I think because he's a little hurt, he'll try to maybe not run around as much, or hopefully not try to. And they know that Micah's going to be getting there quick, so I think we're going to see a lot of screen passes and quick runs, quick kind of throws, quick slants, like you said. Something to get the ball out of his hands at 3 seconds or less. So hopefully it won't affect him too bad. He's got bad footwork when he throws anyway, so it's not like he really needs to put all that weight on his ankle. I can't remember if it's his right ankle or his left ankle, but
it's still an ankle is an ankle, and those things linger. Like, depending on what grade it is, depends on how much longer it lingers. And it's one of those things where, he's in the game, his adrenaline's flowing, and here comes Micah off the left edge, gearing up the speed, running about 20 miles an hour, and then he takes that one right, if it's his right foot, takes that one right step because he thinks he can get away, and then boom, loses that, like, kind of almost has that balance or confidence. And even a play that he doesn't even get sacked on can kind of lose that confidence in ankle, and then that can just avalanche down. No, I hope for his health that doesn't happen. I hope that he's healthy, and I want him to play this game fully healthy. It's just the medical side of it is that you're never even most players aren't even 100% getting into the season, and then let alone a lower body injury when that's where you generate your power, your torque, and everything to throw the ball from. It generates from your feet up to your hips. And he's not known for having the best, arm strength to where he can just upper body these throws. So it's definitely something to keep an eye on, like before the game and during the game. It's definitely great that he's practicing today. That's a step right in the right direction, because I don't want to play against Andy Dalton. I don't want to play the B team. I want to play the best of what you got available.
There you go.
I want to play the best available, so I'm hoping he plays, because I need my Packers defense to get their get back on him. Somebody asked him that this one of our beat writers for the Packers asked Matt LaFleur today about like the progression of Bryce Young, and he was like, "Yeah, he kind of turned the corner when he played us, didn't he?" When he kind of just been steady progressing since then.
Yeah.
From there, now, what's your biggest? Who do you think the biggest weak point is that you're worried about on the Packers offense?
On the Packers offense?
No, I'm not. I'm sorry, the Panthers offense.
Our weak point? I'm gonna have to say our offensive line now, because with all their injuries we got, I don't know who's gonna play. I don't know who's gonna be 100%. So it's really up in the air right now how the starting line's gonna look, especially when we're going up against the best pass rusher in the league, Michael Parsons. So that's got me really worried. But if Cade Mays plays at center, I think we'll be okay. If Austin Corbett, he can play guard, and even if Moton's not playing, Josh Nyman, he's played solid this year. He might struggle at the beginning, but I think he'll hold his own when it's all said and done. So that's my biggest concern is if Cade Mays play. If Cade Mays does not start at center, I think we're gonna have a problem.
Okay, well, let's take another beer break.
Let's do it. And also another add on that, Cade Mays is also a better, signal caller, when they're calling out. I hit my lamp over here, sorry. When he's calling out, mics or, the fan out assignments.
Absolutely.
He apparently just does that much better than Corbett does. I don't know why, but when Cade Mays plays center, the offensive line as a whole just does better.
It's just better continuity there. I mean, I listened to Brett Favre's podcast today. And he was talking about like the quarterback center relationship. He's like, it's the closest thing that a pitcher and a catcher have, like it's in the same like sphere of communication and trust. And because if the right side of the line gets the center's call but the left side doesn't, or one guy on the left side of the line didn't get the call, it'll muck everything up. So it's really good to have that good center, that guy that can communicate. That has experience with the other guys on the line, so that you can play, mistake-ish free game.
Yeah, and also last year, at the end of the year when Bryce Sterling turned it on, that's when Cade Mays came in, because I think Austin Corbett got hurt last year too, and then Cade Mays came in and the offensive line played much, much better, and Bryce Young played much, much better. And so it just seems like when Cade Mays is at center, everybody on the offense just functions much better.
Yeah.
And he's honestly the better option, because he's still on his rookie contract. I think this is only his second year, so he's got 2 years left. This is, I think, the last year on Corbett. He's in his 30s, I believe. So, I think we should give Cades the keys to the center position as of right now.
Give it Gades. It's the motor that runs everything. It's the first person to touch the ball. Did you know? I know we've talked about how the Panthers uniforms are. They got the electric blue, the black, the white. You know what uniforms the Packers are wearing Sunday?
Oh, God.
You're
at home.
1923 throwbacks.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah,
let me look these up real quick.
It's got the helmet is like old leather helmet. And it's like a navy blue top, brown pants. At first I thought it didn't look great, but then after
you're gonna wear those ugly helmets. Oh,
no,
man.
they look better than a picture shows.
Y'all look like the Chicago Bears.
Well, it's 1923. You kind of just took when back then they just took on whatever they had, paint line around the house and threw it on there. And I didn't understand why they were using the 1923 throwbacks against the Panthers. Of like almost any team, you're going to use the Panthers. I mean, should have used it for one of the Bears game and just had a throwback game there. So I think that's we'll see that then.
I guess we're wearing our
probably white.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Man. Oh, we have a jersey schedule. I didn't realize this.
Not a jersey schedule.
First Packers. Oh, we're wearing blue? Or no, we wearing white.
Should be wearing white. Those two blues.
Oh, we're wearing white. Yeah, we're wearing the white. Yeah.
Now, Lambeau Field is the most historic field in the NFL.
Yeah.
It is. It's constantly voted the best stadium in all of sports. Constantly.
Okay.
Constantly.
All right. Yeah, I'm
now,
sure.
There is.
What's so great about Lambeau Field?
It's just the history and
I don't want to hear that.
It is. You can.
I don't want to hear that.
All the great players, always say as soon as they step on Lambeau Field, it's just different than anywhere else. And I've been there, and it is. It's different than anywhere else. When you go through there, the hollowed halls.
I'll tell you what's different. Atlanta Falcons Stadium, they got dollar hot dogs and dollar nachos. You can have yourself a good old time down there.
You know, that's probably about the only good thing the Falcons can figure out. Damn, making me drink, fucking making me shotgun 2 beers, assholes.
Yeah, I know. Even the Braves games too. Like all the shits there is cheap, man. It's fun. Good sports prices, concessions prices.
I mean, as it should be. You know, you shouldn't have to take out a mortgage to fucking have a couple beers at a sporting event.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I heard at Coastal Carolina, if your price of admission, you get free concessions. Like it's all you can eat. Like you just walk up and just like grab whatever you want. Like they just put it all on the counter.
I saw a video of that too. You know, but that's got to kind of be some mid-tier stuff, you know, like. I
mean, for free. I mean, it's mid-tier. You paying for it anyway. I mean.
Sure. So you know how teams, week in and week out, they watch film all week long, and they either put a red circle or a red dot on this guy. Like if we don't, for the Packers, that's Ted McMillan. That's who they're circling all week. Coach is up there with his little clicker. His little laser pointer saying, this big SOB right here will mess everything up if we don't contain him. Who do you think the Panthers are red dotting or red circling on either the Packers offense or defense?
I'm gonna go Michael Parsons because I'm not too sure if our defense is just equipped to stop your offense. You know, we might be able to hold you, but I think the best way we're going to be able to keep up with you is to keep up with you in some kind of shootout, you know, score for score type of deal. So if we can contain Michael Parsons from getting a Bryce Young and from disrupting, you know, good run plays, then I think, you know, we'll have a chance to at least keep up with, you know, what your offense is doing.
Yeah, I mean, because like I've said before, like I think that's probably the best plan you can have. It's because this Packers team's not going to just score 50 points. I mean, we'll mess around, and by the end of the game, end up with like 43, like we should have had on Sunday night. But the key to this offense is you'll know how this game is going to go off the first series of what the Packers do. If they generate a touchdown their first possession, it's about time. Go ahead and put a seatbelt on. It's gonna be a wild one, especially there in Lambeau where it's rocking. It'll be a rough one there. What's your I don't know if you looked at any sports betting sites, so you don't have to look at any.
Let's look at some right now.
Yeah, once you find
some bets of the week.
Yeah, what's Drew's bet of the week?
You want? Okay, let me. Let's pull out some stuff. You have some ready? Or
I would just. I mean, my first one would be an anytime touchdown, Josh Jacobs. I mean, he scored. There's only one game as a Packer that he hasn't scored in the entire year he's been here. Second one would probably be like plus 250 passing yards for Jordan Love. I think he has another 300-yard game. I just think he's playing the best football right now that he's ever played, and I see him continuing that and really using this game to continue with consistency going into Monday Night Football against the Eagles next week. But not looking past the Panthers. That's for next week. I'm solely focused because we'll have to do another prediction today because I forgot what I said Monday and what our prediction is for that game. But I think it's
are we talking about the just the Panthers Packers or the whole NFL?
Panthers Packers, and then do the entire NFL, like just 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
You know, the first 3 things you would be like, oh yeah, this is a hammered down on this one. This is a gimme.
Yeah, I'm looking at just the money line, and we're plus 650. That's crazy value. I mean,
yeah,
I don't think the odds should be that off. I mean, I think that's a good value.
What's the spread at right now? Because I think it opened up at
It's 13.5.
13.5. I thought it opened up at 12.5, and now I think it's moved.
But plus 650. That's crazy. We're like the most underdog team this week.
Definitely by the spread as well. But you know this, I don't know. I think the Packers have only covered the spread like 3 times this year. So like, but I also fuck the spread. Put the money on the money line if you want your team to win. Your odds are always better. Like but if you're if you're trying to win, if you're not betting fucking $10,000 and shit like that, just get the money line. Be like the coaching staff. Be like the organization. Get the win because these games can be ugly. You know, depending on one guy could get hurt and it's completely on top of his head.
Man, DraftKings used to do this thing in baseball where it was like go up by 2 and you automatically win. I used to do that all the time, and I would win all the time, and my team would go up by 2 in like the first, second inning, and then they'd just get blown out, but I would win.
Yep.
And then they canceled that after a few months.
Well, they started seeing some losses.
That was the greatest promotion ever.
They started seeing some losses.
That was stupid. Baseball scores are all over the place, man. You can never. Baseball's so random.
It is because there's so many games. Like the sample size is too much for baseball.
Yeah, and they're always switching pitchers and.
Especially in the playoffs. I mean, it's just a starting pitcher in the regular season can go 7 innings. Now in the playoffs, they can throw 15 pitches and they're out. Give me the next one. Give me the other guy. Give me the other guy. But back to football. Come Monday morning, you can look at the Charlotte Observer or whatever mail you want to. What's the headline going to say?
Oh, Charlotte Observer on Monday?
Yeah, what's the headline in the sports section going to say?
Rico rushes for 250 yards and is now the starting running back. The savior of Carolina.
I don't know if you're familiar with what headlines are, but that is in a headline. You got to be something catchy, like Rico like runs wild or something like that. Like,
Rico steals the cheese.
There you go, something like
Rico
that.
stole their cheese. So yeah, because I think he's our best chance to win. So what about you? What's your Packers headline?
Wish I would have thought about this a little longer. I'd probably say no love for the Panthers. No love for the Panthers. Or Panthers are allergic to cheese.
Yeah.
something cheesy like that.
When the Bills beat us, I saw on their social media page, they posted a picture of like someone picking up a black cat out of like a wet bathtub.
Oh no.
And it was like I was like, damn, bro, why are they gonna do us like that? Like that's harsh. But other bets I'm looking at, I mean, Miami is plus 340 on the money line. I know Lamar's coming back, but it's his first game back. Their away game. I think it might be a little tough for Baltimore.
If Miami wins,
especially if they're right after. Go ahead. All right.
2 weeks in a row. And I do not think I don't think Miami has a chance in hell. If Miami,
Tua, you listening?
If Tua decides not to have CTE again, if Miami wins, two shotguns for Miami, and if the Packers win, just one. So combined, it could be 3, it could be 2, or it could be none. I'm hoping for just one. I'm hoping to do one.
And if the Panthers win, you got a shotgun of beer for every 100 rushing yards Rico runs.
What if he doesn't get 100 rushing yards? If he
Then we're not winning. Then we're not winning.
so Rico is the absolute turning
He is
point,
the-
chess
he is the-
piece that is going to be.
He is the engine in this machine.
But why
He's
would
the
Dave?
gasoline.
What is the thought process to why Dave will not rush him more than 10 times without it being like a loyalty or anything to Chuba? Why would they not give him the ball 10 times, if not more?
I mean, they're gonna give him the ball like around like more or less than 10 times, but I mean, he just needs to get it more. I mean, like I said, I just think we should just rely on our run game because our pass offense, we can't just sit and throw the ball time after time after time. We have to establish the run. We have to make the other team fear the run.
Yeah.
If we don't do that, then our pass game is non-existent because defenses are not scared of Bryce Young's arm, of his deep ball, so they like to play up on him. And so and then once we get the run going, we can do that play action. Gets people hesitating, and then Bryce Young can get those open spots.
He's got to do it. I'm excited for this game. Are you excited for it?
I'm very excited. I wish we were both coming in 3-0, like we were hopefully anticipating.
Oh yeah, 3-0 since the podcast or since the show started. 3-0.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 3-0.
Yeah, I know. We know.
You're 2-1. That's not bad
for
though.
long.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, no.
You know.
Yeah, no. We've turned it around a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll kind of see. Hopefully Dave will get his head out of his ass this week. I saw somebody release the depth chart, and Chuba was still number 1. So,
Well, that's just by the PR team. It's not actually like real. But if you look at this, I mean, through 8 weeks, you're second in the division, 4-4. I mean, overall, that's got to feel pretty good, though, right?
It does, because we're right behind Tampa Bay, and that's who I thought was going to be our biggest competitor, and that's who is. So it looks like the Falcons are just so hit and miss, and I'm not worried about the Saints at all.
New Orleans.
So
is
luckily
a disaster.
Yeah, but they're going to get the number 1 pick next year, probably, unfortunately. But I'm just, we just gotta stick to the process. We're in a weak division. That's to our advantage. And I think, if we can make the playoffs, we can get this team and some city some hope, because that's what we need.
They need hope.
Yeah.
They definitely need it. Now let's hit a Wednesday prediction. Has your line moved? And if it has, what is it? Like, what is your score prediction?
No, it's still the same. If Rico doesn't get at least 25 touches, y'all win probably 27-13. If
so
he gets 25.
There's going to be some extra points missed.
For who? You?
He's 27-13. That means 2 extra points were missed.
For who?
Both teams.
No, you can do a touchdown, 2 field goals.
I mean, I guess, but I'd rather score touchdowns than field goals.
No, of course.
Yeah,
But,
I think. That makes sense. 27-13. I mean, that's our magic number.
But then, like I said, if Rico gets at least 25 carries, I think we win 24-23.
Now, what if he gets 25 carries, but he only has 85 yards, and it's a loss? Are you calling back for Chuba?
No, I'm not, because he just, I know y'all have a good rush defense, and they kind of threw Rico out of his groove. I feel like if they would have just kept playing Rico, maybe he could keep going. So I think, we should just stick with Rico till further notice, and, and just start Rico until he gets a little hurt, and then we'll throw Chuba back in there. I mean, that's kind of the.
Do you think it's because they don't have like opposite skill sets that complement each other? They're kind of just relatively the same style of back.
No, I think Rico's just seeing the holes better and hitting the holes harder. And Chuba used to do that, but he's not doing it right now because he's still hurt, or if he's just trying to do too much, But the other thing is, Rico's on his last year, so he's playing for a big contract next year. Chuba just got paid. He's, I'm not saying that's what he's thinking about when he's running the ball, but he ain't, he's not fighting as hard as I think that Rico is, because Rico knows he he needs to show out for a contract next year. And
Yeah.
Chuba's set. Chuba got $40 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
He's fine.
That's why you wouldn't pay him.
Mm-hmm.
Pay Rico because you're already paying a guy $40 million.
Mm-hmm. Now, unless we try to trade him and sign Rico, but
New England's looking for a running back, so
mm-hmm.
that wouldn't be bad for you.
I mean, what do you think of Chuba? Like, do you think Chuba is like a top 10 back in the league or no?
I don't think he's a top 10. But I also don't know.
So.
I don't even know who I would fit in a 10. If he's not in the top 10, he's just outside of it, like 11 or 12. But there's just so many backs, and it just depends how teams use them.
Yeah, and the other thing about him is he usually doesn't fumble, and he's always stayed healthy. Like, this is the first year he's really had to sit out for a couple games.
Well, let's try and name 10 running backs that are better than Chuba. You got Bijan Robinson. You got Jahmyr Gibbs.
Saquon.
Dalvin Cook. No, you mean James Cook. Yeah, James Cook.
Oh, James, sorry.
This year, I don't know if Josh Jacobs is better than him because he hasn't produced, but overall, who I would choose Josh Jacobs over Chuba. I mean, that might be different for you. But I know Josh, he doesn't have the numbers as he did last year. I'm still thinking of just different running backs.
Breece Hall.
I don't think Breece Hall is better than him. Breece Hall is
Derrick Henry.
Derek the King. Can't forget about
Christian McCaffrey.
Yep, can't forget about him. So that's like 6 right there. Kenneth Walker, maybe. Yeah, I think he's in the same. I think Kenneth Walker is in the same bubble as Chuba.
Yeah, he's kind of. Did you already say J.K. Dobbins?
No, he's not top 10.
Ouch.
Does that hurt your feelings?
I mean, he's third in rushing yards right now.
No, just because you're third in rushing yards doesn't make you a better back.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, J.K. Dobbins.
How could we forget about Jonathan Taylor?
Oh, I thought you already said him. My bad.
No, how could I forget about it? It's just there's so many running backs, and they're a dime a dozen, unless you have a top 3 back.
Yeah.
Unless you're
Achane from Miami. It's not too bad.
Yeah, he's gonna get traded. I think. I hope he does. Come on down to Green Bay. We need some speed. Speed.
I mean, shit. Damn, Kamara still in the league.
Yeah, there's just so many. Every team has 2 or 3 good backs. To where it's just
what's that one dude on Tampa Bay? Bucky Irvin. He's not bad.
Yeah, and they got Lucky Whitehead there too. I mean, that's why it's hard to kind of come up with it outside of those gotten damn near 5. It's the same thing as quarterbacks. Once you always know who your top 5 quarterbacks are. It's you can kind of mix and match from 6 to 25 because they're all within small percentages of each other.
If you had to pick a quarterback to play on the Packers other than Jordan Love. Right now in the NFL, who would it be? Josh Allen. That's active. That's okay. Yeah.
Easy. Yeah. I think Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league right now. Yeah, I mean, people say Mahomes. I don't. There's a better skill set that Josh Allen has over Pat Mahomes. If Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes switch spots, I don't know if Josh Allen loses the Super Bowl. I don't know if he does. Mm-hmm. Because you look back at that 2020 Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Josh Allen would just run away from all the Buccaneers defensive linemen, and he just outside of Stephon Diggs, he really hasn't had a relatively even close top receiver.
Yeah, he's just a dog too.
He's just a dog.
And he's just a pure football player. I remember that one play where he dove forward and some dude took it and he took it back. I can't remember what happened. It was some crazy fumble. It was just something you never see a quarterback do. Get super physical, It's hell yeah, that's dope.
I'll phrase the same question to you, but I know you're not going to pick Bryce Young. So who'd your quarterback be?
Josh Allen. Yeah,
he's just so fun to watch. He can launch it. He can run.
He's a white Cam Newton.
Yeah, he's 7 foot tall.
He's really a white Cam Newton.
Now. If there was a Panthers quarterback, not named Cam Newton because we saw his recent experience 2 years ago come back for the Panthers, what quarterback would you bring back to revive this Panthers team?
Oh God.
Could any Panthers older quarterback come in and revive this team?
No, I don't want to pick Delhomme. I never liked Delhomme.
Bojangles, man.
No, he was so boring. He was like, I hated watching him play. I don't think who else.
That's about it.
Well, I felt back in the day was just kind of boring. They just like nobody ever.
Just the play style was a little boring. It was all run focused. That's why.
And those baggy uniforms they used to wear.
Oh, those big ass Russell athletic jerseys.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to think.
You wore the same uniforms as they did when you were in Pop Warner.
Yeah. Man, shit.
I don't think that. I think it's Cam Newton and Bryce Young. I don't know if there's anybody on the Panthers that's worthwhile up until that point. I mean,
we haven't really been a team for that long. So
like 25 years, 27 years, something like that.
I don't know, almost 30. This is our 30-year anniversary this year.
30 years.
Yeah.
Well, Drew, it was a hell of an episode there. We got through a lot of the Panthers and Packers preview. Kind of covered it from all angles.
Yeah, we did.
So make sure you guys, if you enjoy the content, like, subscribe, comment down below, and again, follow us on our Instagram, The Beers and Ball Show. Send us a direct message or comment down in the video what team you want to talk about and the best way to get you on here, so we can talk beers and ball. You got anything else for the viewers there, Drew?
Let's have one more drink.
That's it. Cheers.
Cheers.
We love you.
See you
See you Sunday.
See you Friday.
Or Friday, whichever day. Who cares? Fuck it.
Oh, yeah. Someday soon.